Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute, but here we are. Today we are discussing every millennial's dream of retirement. And as far-fetched as that sounds, is retirement through FIRE, which stands for Financially Independent Retire Early. This is a movement that millennials have been embracing more so, also fueling the Great Resignation, which will also be a video in the future. Take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, but without further ado, let's get right into it. First level of FIRE is lean FIRE, which is exactly how it sounds, and this is roughly living off of $25,000 a year. Although for most people this wouldn't be considered retirement unless you live a simple lifestyle, low cost living area. If not that, living in your mom's basement, which is totally fine. To get that $25,000 annually, you'd have to utilize multiple vehicles of investment such as dividend stocks. Although I do not personally own any of these stocks that I'm about to list, they are definitely on my watch list and I would be willing to buy. GOF, Guggenheim Strategic Fund, yielding at 11.34% annually, paying a monthly dividend of 18 cents per share, trading at $19.50. This fund has not really moved in growth, but has always paid a consistent dividend. If you invest $225,000 in this fund, you will yield $25,875 a month, or $2,156.25 per month. Even though you cannot retire on this, having the additional $21,000 a month could set you into a path of future opportunity. Another favorite stock of mine, and yields at about 15.02% quarterly. Well, annually, paying quarterly. Which is about $2 per share. This is an impressive return. This is reliable, small growth, but it has increased in value over time. Trading at $54 a share, a simple $165,000 investment could yield you $25,000 per year or $6,250 per quarter. If you don't need the money monthly, utilizing quarterly payments will be really nice. If not that, DRIP it, which is dividend reinvestment program, and that will compound nicely. A 15% compounded rate is very good. Outside of stocks and dividends, you could also use the 4% rule, which is generally what most retirees use in the retirement age after they've built a nice retirement fund, and that's the 4% rule. Although it's been disproven a couple of times in the better, saying that you could take more than 4% and still have annualized growth. If you take 4% of a portfolio annually, you'd still need a $600,000 investment portfolio to yield your $25,000 annually. This isn't too crazy and would put you on the road for a better retirement and work up for regular FIRE and fat FIRE as you move on in the next 10 to 15 years as money progresses, doubles. Although you might not be able to retire off the $25,000 annually, it is definitely a nice start to a financial journey. With all jokes aside, living in your mother's basement is not a bad idea. It's still a great way to accumulate investments without any bills. I think if everyone aspires to utilize these forms of investments, smaller goals like this are achievable. Now onto the regular FIRE, which is generally how we all kind of aspire to be and could probably actually retire off this. The next step is regular FIRE, also the subcategory of barista FIRE. With a household spending between $50,000 and $60,000, that would be your average income. With bills and your Starbucks expenditures, this will generally get you out of your mom's basement, ideally into your own home. Although the term retirement is still loosely used, you'd still either have to work a part-time job or have another partner working their job for insurance, because insurance cuts into your capital by at least $1,000 a month. Even with that regular FIRE, you'd probably have your own business, side hustle, or small income and passive income. Here's some ideas how to achieve regular FIRE. Coming in at number one, real estate. Although a lot of people don't want to get that 3 a.m. call to unclog a toilet, there are many benefits in owning and renting your own real estate. Not only is it a nice passive income monthly, it's also a way to leverage your money cheaply. Real estate also looks nice on a balance sheet and does increase your net value over time, and also improves your credit score to make it look nice on banks to get a nice leveraged loan. If you don't want to get that 3 a.m. call, you can always do Airbnb, which, I'm sure I don't have to explain Airbnb, but utilizing properties that you have to rent out on a weekend basis. It's becoming more popular, and you could definitely utilize empty spaces, even an empty room, if you wanted to. Then, like every millennial has been done to aspire to become a YouTuber, becoming one of the more popular things is, either starting a financial channel or playing pranks on strangers to piss them off. This has become a nice form of monetization for millennials, and is also an aspired position to hold for Gen Zers. If YouTube doesn't work, there's always OnlyFans. I don't think I'd get away with that one. Other streams of income, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So with these streams won't solely make you wealthy. It is a good start to a low risk stream. Put in excess cash into a BlockFi account where you can make up 8.5% on your stablecoins and up to 4.5% on your Bitcoin. Check the description for referral link in the description down below for $250 in Bitcoin on your first deposit. They don't sponsor this video, but just do it. Last but not least, there's Fat Fire. This is the bougie Fat Fire. This is when retirement comes into full swing and you're making about $120,000 annually in your investments, real estate, and your BlockFi rewards. Also, you may own your own business, your merch from your OnlyFans or your YouTube channel, and now you can afford that venti espresso drink from Starbucks. So with this, ideas, obviously, I do not have Fat Fire right now, I still work for a living, is to start a business. Although starting a YouTube channel is like starting a business, there are many other ways and facets of businesses, like finding something you're good at and monetizing it. For an example, I have a couple of friends that work with model trains. As silly as that sounds, and I love model trains myself, is people hire them to detail it, weather it, and make it look realistic, and they create a business out of it. They quit their day job and that's what they do, and they love it. So not full-blown retirement, but definitely an occupation which they love to do and that they go to work every day and enjoy it. The next one is having that large portfolio. Ideally, you've probably worked your way up through the fire chain and have a decent sized stock portfolio and can utilize that 4% rule just a little bit better. So in theory, that $600,000 portfolio you had at Lean Fire is now a $3 million investment fund, and taking 4% out of that is generally $120,000 that you could, siphon off annually. But there's still taxes. Can't get away from taxes. You're still going to pay about $25,000 in taxes, depending on what state you're in and what happens to taxation in the future. And then taking a little bit from the regular fire is multiple rental properties. So ideally you have more than one investment property and it can yield you more than $300 per month in rental income. So I'm going to hit more on that real estate thing. I'm not into real estate yet, but I aspire to be. A good book to start reading to have a general idea of how real estate works is Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad. This book inspired me to basically become wealthy. I mean, I'm far from it right now, but definitely something to aspire to be. I mean, you only have one life. But basically he says that if you don't own real estate, you're trash. Well, that's how it feels. But he says that a lot of ideas to get wealthy is through the means of leverage in real estate. And as I've read more about his books, I agree with him. And it's definitely something to work towards in the future. Once again, although I have not achieved any of these goals, I do anticipate on hitting that Lean Fire aspect, but not retire, but build off of it by the end of the year. And that's through non-emotional investing and basically hard work. But other ways to plan for this is to track your expenses. You can use mint.com. I have Mint, SoFi. They're very nice for tracking expenses, and they'll also send you a little app of saying, hey, you spent too much at the liquor store. And I'm just like, damn. Next one is budgeting. As cliche as that sounds, budgeting is really, really important. And if you start running your life like a business, you'll know where you should cut, where you shouldn't cut, and where you can start putting other capital. And my big goal for this past few years since the pandemic was cutting expenses, through refinancing, debt consolidation, and using the excess money to put into investment funds. The next one is allocate enough for investments. Whether this is a 401k, if your company matches up to, say, 6% of your 401k, match up to that and then allocate the rest yourself. Bills and, the most important investments you can make is either index funds, dividend stocks with, dividend reinvestment, and most importantly, yourself, such as books, education, and Wi-Fi to watch YouTube, obviously, because that's probably one of the best education courses I've ever taken. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, links in the description down below. Until next time.